as well. So if you're joining on Facebook or YouTube, good morning. Welcome to our Thursday morning movement class. Of course, we always focus on the breath as well, but just that little bit more focus on movement and strength. So finding your space. And let's start off with a little bit of a spine wave. So a good way I've found of doing this is just gently ease into it. So we're not forcing anything, just connecting, just gently holding your wrist like that. And we're just going to lengthen up a little bit, look up a little bit, just go to a comfortable place, no forcing. And then we're going to bring our head, chin slightly forwards. And we're going to do a little bit of a roll, a little bit of bend in the hip, and then we're going to wave the spine like that. So just lengthening up. And then chin forwards. When you get here, you're just bending the knees a little bit, rounding the back a little bit, and then waving up. Open up. Really making sure, don't think of it as a stretch, it's just getting some movement through the spine in a wave sense. It's like a mini full body flow. Like a morning stretch. Breath is just easy in and out through the nose. Doesn't have to be big. And of course, if you've got any pain or any tightness, then you just stop or just go to that point where you're comfortable with this movement. Remember, none of this is about forcing or straining. Always have in mind the idea of flowing movement. Let's do one more. And then take a rest. You might want to shake the arms out a little bit. Maybe you want to shake the legs out a little bit. Lightly interlocking the fingers, so we've got the wrist, and we just start the movement with the wrist. So just the wrists. Really relax into the shoulders. Moving the wrists. And then we can bring the elbows into it. So just make that movement a little bit bigger with the elbows. So one goes up and round to the front. Get that rotation through the spine as well. So bring that elbow into it. Think the rib cage moving here, rib cage moving here, rib cage moving away from the hip. Always lengthen up first as well. So you're lengthening up. Rotation through that upper back. So upper back, rotate, shoulders come forwards. Get that movement through the upper back. Imagine you're paddling in a canoe or something like that. And then let's go the other way. So backwards. Breathing easy. balance there. Shake out, move around if you need to move around. Let's come back down to the ankles and the feet. So balancing, if I mirror you, we'll balance on the right leg. And then just holding that left leg out and circling the ankle. So not only are we working that ankle, we're working our balance. Remember, it's always good to lengthen up the spine to balance. And if you want to use the 2 tiger heads just to help balance a little bit as well. Or if you're struggling a little bit with the balance, just hold on to something, because the purpose, the main intention of this practice is that mobility of the ankle. So we don't want to be struggling with the balance and not doing the purpose of the movement. So moving that ankle. Really feel all the fascia on the bottom of the foot lengthen out, toes stretch, maybe all the way up the calf muscles. And then swap directions if you haven't already done so. I can feel it all down the side there. Usually on this side of the leg I feel it a little bit more. This ankle is a little bit tighter. Really stretch it out. There's a few clicks going on in my ankle and my metatarsals. Good, then give that a good shake. So shake it from the hip. So we physically moved it, now we're just shaking it by shaking the hip. Give it a good shake out, and then just stand, see how that feels when you're balanced and standing on the floor. And then we'll swap sides. Stabilize first, nice and strong through that side. Use your tiger heads if you want to use your tiger heads, or a chair or whatever if you want to balance, help the balance. And then circle. Do it nice and smooth, slow, with no rush. Breathing easy in and out through your nose. And then back in the other direction. Really stretch out all the muscles, all of the fascia. And then again, give that one a good shake. Shake it out. Shake out the legs. Come to stand again, balance. Letting the breath settle. And then we'll bring the feet a little bit closer together. Bending in the knees, just resting on the thighs, just placing your hands on the thighs rather than putting a lot of weight through the thighs, and just circling the knees. Andrew did this one when we were in Scotland at the weekend, and I'd forgotten about this one. This is a good old-fashioned chi running knee circling exercise I remember doing years and years ago, and I haven't done it for ages, but it was just quite nice to go back to it. Just doing big circles with the knees. And then going, changing directions when you want to change directions. Good, come up to standing. Again, a little bit of shake out of the legs. And then we'll do our leg swing. So again, it brings a little bit of balance into it. Stabilizing on one leg. and then just swinging that other leg across. So we're really working on the hips now, so opening up the hips. Internal rotation, external rotation, and then lower. So you're getting that rotation in the hip socket, and I've just got something stuck in my toe. Make sure I hoover the floor next time. So balance. Freeing up the swing leg. Breathing easy. One more each side. And a good shake out. Just stand for a moment. And then we'll do teacup. So one palm facing up. Remember, you just imagine you've got a teacup on that hand, so you can't turn that wrist over. You've got to have that palm facing up all of the time. The movement comes from the hips. So the movement is in the hips, and that upper body follows. So we go back, the hips go back, the arms go back. We go to the side, the hips, the arms go to the side. We open up across the front, over the head, and back round. Hips lead, upper body follows. Really like this one for coordination. Just allow the knees to bend. Always make sure you've got good space, got a good base of support as well, and feet not too close together. About hip width apart is always good. If you go too close together, it's a little bit more challenging. So nice and spaced with the legs. Smooth with the movement. No sticky bits. When you are ready, we'll change sides. So a nice smooth transformation to the other side, or even transition to the other side. Maybe one side feels slightly different to the other. Do one more on this side. And take a rest. Good, bit of a shake out. And then let's go wider stance, so shoulder and a half width apart, but a comfortable wide stance for you. Comfortable turning the feet out, making sure that the knees glide in line with the toes. So you get that little bit of stretch through the groin area there, through the thigh area. This is not doing a squat, so I'm not hinging the hips back. I'm literally just dropping. It's almost like you've got a little bit of weight on the tailbone and you're just dropping the tailbone down, knees gliding over toes. So just go to that comfortable depth. And then we will push out, really lengthen out, flex the fingers towards the sky. Then as we come back up to standing, we just come back up into the middle, stand tall, and then push out again. Make sure those knees glide over your toes. They're not coming forwards. Again, it's not about forcing the depth or anything, it's about staying with the breath. Pushing away, stretching out. Let's do a couple more. Good. Taking a rest, just stepping your feet back in and having a little bit of a shake. Taking a moment to stand, we'll go into some balance, a little bit more balance practice. Always good to do. Always different as well. Some mornings you can feel as if, yeah, this is great. Other mornings you can be a little bit slightly off balance. Let's start with flying on both sides, breathing in, both legs, balancing, breathing out. And I really want you to get that sense of whole body movement. It's not just the arms moving. Body's expanding, lengthening up. Elbows are soft. Fingers are soft, softening as you're breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And just keep that breath light, soft. Breathing just the right volume of air, not breathing too much, not breathing too little. And then we're going to do that little bit of weight shift. So shifting over to the left side, just peeling that right heel. Ball of that right foot just touching the ground. As we're breathing out, we're shifting back to the center, then we shift over to the right side, peel the left heel. And really have that intention of the weight going through the left side, and then the weight shifting. Really feel that center of gravity shifting here and the weight then going through the right side. So that left leg is light. Heel just floats off the ground. It's almost like you've got a balloon attached to your crown of your head and it's just lifting you up, lifting that heel up as you float off the ground a little bit. And the slower you go with this movement, the more you notice the nuances of the balance of the weight shift, of how you're supported on one side of the body, how you're supported on the other side of the body. And then if you want to make that a little bit more challenging, you can raise the opposite knee and then slowly down. It's like you're stepping, you're just testing the waters there. Is that water warm? Is it water cold? That's fine. Roll ball of the foot to the heel, and then the weight shifts. Feel that weight shift, so that lifts. Think of lifting and lengthening, and then slowly down. Again, testing the water. Ball of the foot, roll to the heel. Slower you go, the more challenging it is, but the more beneficial it's going to be. And it's still a flow. We're not holding anything. So you get to the top and we're still breathing. There's that lull and there's that change of direction. There's no hold. There's just a lull, a little bit of suspension in the movement, a little bit of suspension in the breath, but no hold. Let's do a couple more. Shoulders relaxed. Full breath. And then take a rest. Good. Lengthen the spine. Staggered stance. So one foot slightly ahead of the other. Not a big step. So we're not doing a lunge or anything. We're just doing a staggered stance. One foot in front of the other. So again, if I'm mirroring you, your right foot is forwards. So we're just going to shift the weight to that right foot. Peel that left heel. And then just rock back a little bit. And then take the weight back onto the left side. And then just shift forwards. Peel the heel. Shift back. So I'm just getting that weight shift. We've done this with a balance side to side. We're just going across, weight shift forwards. Weight shift back. Bring that center of gravity back. You can almost sit into that back heel there. Shift forwards. Shift back. And then we're going to add to that so we did quite a big weight shift there. We're going to add to that a little bit of a tiger. So you're coming down. The weight shifts forwards over that front leg. And then as you come up, we shift back a little bit. So you get, again, it's a bit like that spine wave as we were going, we did at the very beginning, but we just go in towards the side, down, and then shift back, come up to standing, shift forwards, roll back a little bit, come up to standing, do two more. I could do with it a little bit wider there for me. Don't be afraid to adjust if it feels a little bit tight, if it doesn't feel right. Adjust your base of support. Did I say two more? Yeah, we'll do one more. And then come up side. It's just quite nice because it just gets a little bit of movement through the hips as well. Tiger's always good, but that's just in one plane of movement. It's quite nice to mix that up a little bit. Let's go the other side. So step out. Just get that weight shift going first. So think about shifting your center of gravity forwards. That peels that heel off the ground. Shift the center of gravity back. You can just sit into that hip a little bit. Forwards, back. It really brings that attention to the fact that I'm moving center of gravity forward, center of gravity back. Spine is sitting on top of that. I'm not leaning back and moving side to side. Spine sits on top of the pelvis. And again, you might find the flow feels a lot easier one side than the other. And then we'll add to that if you need to go a little bit wider, that's okay. If you feel as if you're a bit like compressed with the space, shifting forwards, dropping down, rolling back. So it's like I'm rolling up back away and then forwards, rolling back onto the heel, standing tall. The sun's out here now, there's no wind compared to the torrential rain and the howling winds we had yesterday. It's going to be a muddy run this morning. That'll be interesting to see what's flooded. A couple more. And come up to standing. Good, 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 good. Shake out. Let's have a good shake, actually. Shaking the shoulders. Let's add that end sound. So the humming end sound as we did on, I think we did it on Tuesday, to actually get that nasal nitric oxide built up. Really good to get more oxygen into the blood. So just tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Nice full breath in through the nose. And get all that vibration going through the face, the head. Let's do one more. And then let's do one cleansing, clearing. So full breath in and slow it down. Slow it down. Open up the shoulders. Again, you might feel as if you want to take a nice full breath and then just let that go. And pulling down the sky into a moment of bamboo in the wind. Just resting on the lower dantian, bringing the feet together, just closing your eyes. When you're ready, just taking another breath in, fuller, calm, opening your eyes, stepping out, gentle brush down. And I wish you a very good day. Have a great weekend too. And we'll be back on Tuesday focusing a little bit more on the breath work. Thanks for joining. Have a good day. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.